There have been many non-WWE wrestling games to release over the past 30 years or so, some of them great, others not so much. Of these games, only few have gone on to spawn actual sequels, and in this video, I'm going to go over the absolute best of the best non-WWE game series, and my favorite game from each one of those series. Alright, first up, the M. Dickey catalog. These games, to put it simply, are just a blast to play. Easy to pick up with enough depth and room for creativity to keep you busy for hours on end. There are many variations to choose from here between Wrestling Revolution 2D, 3D, but my favorite has to be Wrestling Empire. This game is awesome. From the freedom of backstage transitions to the wide variety of weapon types and interactions with said weapons, this game truly shines in multiplayer mayhem, but it has enough fun with its wild AI to keep single players entertained as well. This game even features its own career mode that allows for free roam, total control over your wrestler's time and career, with tons of interactions between other characters to make the game world feel alive. Seriously, this indie game somehow makes its universe feel even more alive and immersive than WWE 2K does. I particularly love the newsletters. The Creation Suite is awesome. You can make your own show, you can make your own superstars, assign your own custom superstars to your own custom shows. You can go buck wild and make your own universe within the confines of this game, and that's where it really shines. Limitless possibilities, and the AI keeps things fresh enough with its wonky and erratic behavior where you just don't know what you're going to expect. No two shows you put together are going to be the exact same because the AI is just too unpredictable for that. And the only way you would get two shows to be identical is because the AI is just that unpredictable that just when you think they're not going to be unpredictable, they're predictable. Does that make sense? There's a promo engine in this game, so you can even customize storylines before and after matches. You want to make a hair versus hair match? Okay, make it in the custom game settings, and then the superstars will cut promos regarding their hair and actually shave each other's hair off when they lose or win, whatever. I mean, this game is incredible. You can have loser leaves town, you can do all kinds of different rivalries, and the superstars actually talk about it. Like, they mention it in the promos before the match and afterwards. It's a living, breathing world. These little details, I mean, they might seem little, but they're actually huge and massive and really adds to this game's staying power. That's why Wrestling Empire is still mentioned with some of the heavy hitters we have in the wrestling game community today, rightfully so. These games are available on virtually any gaming platform you can think of: mobile, Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, everything. And here's the really cool thing. If you like these games, if you enjoy the core gameplay along with the dynamic promo engine and you want more, it turns out these wrestling games work equally well in a school setting or a prison setting. Yes, M. Dickey has other games like Wrestling Empire set in entirely different worlds. I can post links to these in the description of this video. I can't recommend them enough. Wrestling Empire, folks, check it out. Ultimate Muscle is a manga and anime adapted series from Japan that is, of course, based on wrestling. What could be more fun than that, you ask? Well, make it into a video game, of course. There have been many video game adaptations of Ultimate Muscle, but for my money, Legends vs. New Generation is the cream of the crop. This game, developed by Aki by the way, yes, that same Aki that is responsible for all of our N64 favorites, is an absolute blast. The anime's beautiful art style is well captured by the GameCube's graphics, and over-the-top action is fast-paced and surprisingly fluid here. There aren't a ton of match types to choose from, but the gameplay is solid. I mean, this game even has voiced-over commentary. Not even the WWE GameCube games had that. The Creation Suite is serviceable. In addition to creating your own wrestler, you can give them a customized personality and even import them to a friend's game through the GameCube's memory card slots. Wow, a community creations mode from 2003. There is a story mode that is unique to each wrestler. These consist of a series of stationary 2D cutscenes followed by a match. You earn money by winning, which you can then spend on collectibles on the in-game store. Now, I do want to point out that while it may appear at first glance that this game takes a departure from the traditional Aki-style momentum-based collar and elbow type gameplay that we've all been accustomed to for all these years, I assure you, the decision-making you have to make at such a quick pace in this game adds for its own level of strategy. You start off by having certain combos that you're able to pull off, and then as you level up, Throughout the match, that's kind of the momentum of this game, you gain access to a wider array of your moveset, eventually culminating in the highest level, which allows you to hit crazy finishers that show brief little cutscenes during the match. They're not long, they're just little cool cinematic sequences within the match. So obviously this game is a no-brainer for me to recommend to fans of the Ultimate Muscle anime, but I can just as easily recommend it to people who have never heard of the anime, because this game just stands on its own merits as a fantastic wrestling video game. So check out Ultimate Muscle Legends vs. New Generation, and if you don't own a GameCube but still want to play this game, they have versions on the PSP and PS2 as well. Oh, but you thought we were done with Aki games? No, not by a long shot, because next up we have a series that, for me personally, as a fan of hip-hop and pro wrestling, was just a dream come true, and I still can't believe I got to live through an era where we got to see these games made. Def Jam. I love all of these games so much. Vendetta, Fight for New York, and Icon, but if I had to pick just one from this series for me to recommend to you, the good viewer, it would be Def Jam Fight for New York. Now I gotta be honest folks, from a pure gameplay perspective, when it comes down to just the wrestling aspect of this game, I believe it's the best out of this entire list. Now, like other Aki games, it's all about momentum, and momentum is gained by successfully performing moves, countering, taunting your opponent, taunting to the crowd, things of that nature. And the rate to which momentum is gained, that's affected by the fighter's charisma stat, and just like all the other stats, it varies between each and every fighter. So you have different fighting styles. You have the boxer, you have the taekwondo specialist, the kickboxer, the wrestler. All those guys, they gain momentum differently. And creative fighters can set their own charisma, because in the story mode you can buy clothes, you can get tattoos, you can get jewelry. The more expensive the better. So if you spend a lot of money looking good, you're going to gain momentum faster because you're going to have higher charisma. Now once you fill up that momentum bar, you can do a taunt, and then you enter this mode called Blazin', and when you're in Blazin' mode you get access to your finisher, which is a very strong, powerful attack or submission hold, which can usually end the match, either via KO or making your opponent submit, which are primarily the two ways you win in this game. Now, you don't necessarily need to use a move from your Blazin' catalog to end the match. I mentioned earlier that there are different fighting styles. Well, each one of those fighting styles has a unique way to end the match. So submission experts can just make somebody submit through a grapple, or a street fighter can end the match with just a strong punch. These different fighting styles add for more variety between the fighters, and it makes everybody feel unique because they have moves that are just available to them. When you create your own fighter, I believe you can use Blazin' moves from anybody. You can pick whatever Blazin' move you want, but you can only assign 4 at a time, so you can't just be spazzing everybody's finisher, but it's nice to have options. There's a pretty good roster here, 67 playable characters in fact, including real-life hip-hop artists that were signed to Def Jam at the time of this game's release. Most of those guys you can unlock through the story mode, which in my opinion is the bread and butter of this game, and probably the mode you'll spend the most time in, considering the exhibition doesn't feature the widest variety of match types by any means. But seriously, the story mode is just fantastic. It features real RPG mechanics where you can earn development points which can be used at the local gym to increase your character's skills or purchase new moves, new Blazin' moves, additional fighting styles. You can even customize your character's wardrobe, and buying more expensive clothes from real clothing lines like Reebok and Air Jordan, by the way, will boost your charisma, which boosts your momentum meter and allow you to end matches rather quickly. I could honestly sit here and rant for days on this series. I love all of the games very much. They're available on all platforms, PS2, Xbox, GameCube for Vendetta and Fight for New York, and then Icon was 360 and PS3. Now there was also a PSP version of Fight for New York, I think, called Takeover, and that version is also pretty good. And then I think there was some kind of Def Jam kind of microphone game, but I don't really associate that with this series because it's not a fighting/wrestling game. But there are a lot of games to choose from, and they are all very good. I even like Icon a lot. It's often overlooked in this series, but check out Def Jam Icon. It's probably the cheapest of the bunch as well. And last, but certainly not least, folks, if customization and personalizing your wrestling video game is important to you, then look no further, because this game is the best of the bunch in those departments. I am, of course, talking about Fire Pro Wrestling. You can create your own superstar, assign them thousands of different moves to choose from. You can create your own title for those superstars to fight over. You can create your own show that title is defended on. You can customize the arena, the mat that show has. You can create 20 different shows filled with your own custom roster, with your own custom championships, and make a Fire Promoter mode filled with different promotions that you created from the ground up yourself. Talk about a personalized universe mode experience. My Fire Promoter GM, whatever the hell it's called in this game, that's what you're looking for, folks. And if, like me, you have the creativity and the art skills of a freaking potato, you can just download superstars that other players are nice enough to upload to the fighter net that is available on the in-game menus. You can just open the browser right from your PlayStation, Xbox, PC, whatever, and download arenas, textures, moves, the whole shebang right from that. It's super useful. I've used it the hell out of it. I have hundreds of downloads, and I've actually amassed quite a collection of WWF, WCW, ECW guys. I can make my own 90s promotion, 80s promotion, whatever I want, just based on downloads from other people. So the community creations suite, if you will, on Fire Pro Wrestling is very good. It has always been good, but the ability to download online on Fire Pro Wrestling World in particular, I think is just outstanding, and it's something that the PS2 games didn't necessarily have. Because there are thousands of moves to choose from, each customized character, especially if they're based off of real-life counterparts, and there are some real-life superstars in Fire Pro Wrestling World, just right out the gate on the disc if you buy it from New Japan Pro Wrestling. These superstars all feel like themselves. They have their real moves, they have their real mannerisms and the way they would act within a match. It's just superb. And if you don't believe me, just have two superstars play like the CPU and just observe a match and watch how Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada fight each other. They fight just like their real life selves would. It's amazing, actually. There's also a story mode where you rise the ranks of New Japan and kind of gain prominence, and you start off training, and you even get explained to about how to take bumps and stuff. It's really cool, and you get history lessons for each of the real New Japan stars that come in and instruct you or you have a match against. You get to learn a little bit about all of them, which was cool for somebody like me who doesn't really get to watch New Japan on a weekly basis or anything like that. So I can easily recommend that. There's even a DLC for additional story modes and things of that nature, so if you want to have a single player experience, you certainly can do that. And like I said, the Fire Promoter mode, I've spent a lot of time in that, just making my dream lucha promotion, and the customization in that is just insane, and it's stuff that I wish that 2K could take and learn from and implement into their universe mode. I mean, could you imagine? But I'm rambling. Fire Pro is such a great series. They have games on the Game Boy, the Game Boy Advance, the PS2, but I love Fire Pro Wrestling World on the PS4s, this version you're seeing right here. Cannot recommend it enough. There will be a couple of turnoffs to people right away. I can see it already. The graphics, for one, I can see a lot of people not liking. But for me personally, graphics I could give two craps about. Graphics are so secondary. If the core gameplay is good, I don't care if you have cardboard cutouts for graphics like South Park style. I'm still gonna like your game. Graphics, because there's such an emphasis put on it, and here's a little mini rant incoming, we see games suffer at release because the game engine can't keep up with the number of polygons that are on the screen anymore. It's become too much, and especially in these yearly releases where people are just demanding more and more for visually, you get less and less for mechanically. That's just the way it is, folks. And then there is the gameplay, which, let's talk about it, some people are not going to like either, because you can't just spam moves, you can't just do precisely whatever you want to do, like envision cool spots in your head and then pull them off. No, because this is all timing based. When you tie up, you enter like a little quick time event. Pretty much every single time you lock up, you have your quick grapples, your medium grapples, and your strong grapples, and striking is kind of hit or miss because you need to line up perfectly. I'm still not very good at it. I've been playing this game since release. But that being said, there is a lot of fun to have in this game, and there is a lot of skill involved in it as well. But there you have it, folks. Those are my best non-WWE wrestling game series and my favorite game from each one of those series. What did I miss? Are there other games that I didn't mention here? And remember, I'm talking about game series here, so they have to have multiple games, they have to have sequels, prequels, whatever. I love these games so much, they all mean so much to me, and it was a privilege to come on here today and share them with you. Do all the YouTube stuff for me, guys. If you want to see more content like this, let me know, leave a comment, let's talk, let's have a little chat. And until next time, guys, take care, everybody.